Man, okay. I've started using the mute button on XSplit to try to cut the audio off. And every time I do that, I forget to unmute it the next stream that I start. So okay, that's a new thing that I have to check. That's a new thing that I'm going to have to start checking from now on. But, yeah, right now, just kind of chilling, just kind of hanging out a little bit, and having a good time here. Just a little bit on the Chen reaction. Someone challenged me to try to pick a bottom five in Street Fighter 5, so I'm actually going to try to look through and see if I really can pick a bottom five. Unfortunately, as a Lucia player, I'm probably going to actually and accidentally end up having her down there just because I feel like she does suffer in a lot of different ways, but we'll see how that goes. But then afterwards, after I finish doing that, I am going to actually experiment a little bit with. Um, hey, King Vazuki, watch it. Watch it. No, 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 being that realistic, okay? What's going on, Nazda? But I'm gonna check out them's fighting herds afterwards. That game is getting its full official 1.0 release on April 30th, I read, and they're including a lot of great things, including GGPO rollback netcode. It's available on Steam right now. You can grab it right now and mess with it and play with it. They've got combo trials. The training mode is really robust and everything like that. So I'm actually going to mess with all the different characters and just see what they all do. Probably go through their combo trials a little bit just to see how that goes. It's a beautiful, beautiful game and everything. So it's just one of those games that I know they're putting a lot of effort into. I know it's been very, very hard for them to make the game. So I just kind of wanted to support it a little bit, especially during this time, of quarantine and everything, where rollback netcode is really important to have. Plus, another thing too is that the game obviously was based off of My Little Pony a long time ago. They made a game called Fighting is Magic, where they had the characters from My Little Pony in there, but then Hasbro had to cease and desist them. But then Lauren Faust, the creator of My Little Pony, reached out to them and decided to work with them and create a bunch of brand new characters, basically just for the game, and as a means of just kind of like, hey, we're not cease and desisting because we're kind of mad kind of thing. It was just like, they have to, right? You can't promote a fighting game off of something, a fan project where, et cetera, et cetera. It's business politics, as it were. But Lauren Faust actually really helped out and helped create all the unique characters for the game. And one of the hard things about that is that, the game then, has this, I know that there's some people out there who, treat this game with that stigma. Oh, My Little Pony. Oh, it's like weird, cute animals and whatever. Like, it's just, whatever, dude. If it's a fun fighting game, it's a fun fighting game. So, Alex is... God, I don't believe Alex is bottom five, but that's just because I can't fight the character to save my life overhaul. I cannot. Ugh. The beta is next weekend. Yeah, so I've got some... I gotta... Okay, tomorrow I'm doing it then. Tomorrow I'm doing that. I'm throwing out some footage. I've had footage for Guilty Gear Strive for a long time, and I just haven't had a chance to put any of it out yet because I've just been so swamped with like editing and all this stuff like that. And then every time I finally am not editing, I'm like, I kind of want to lie down and close my eyes and take a nap. But this weekend, okay, tomorrow, I'm definitely doing that. So... But yeah, I just kind of wanted to try to give them's fighting herds a little bit more of exposure, show people the game and everything like that. Automatization. Yeah, Ed might be a good character just because he's got the easy anti-airs. I used to be really good at anti-airs with Zangief. because the lariats were so good at anti-airs, I could lariat people every single time in the old games when lariat was a 100% reliable anti-air. Obviously, in Street Fighter V, it doesn't quite work the same. So yeah, Ed or Falk would actually be a good choice. I tried to pick up Falk at one point in time because, I figured that the anti-airs would be helpful. She seemed really interesting, but the whole twister with your fingers thing was actually really tough for me to handle. And then, and so I just kind of stopped using Falk at that point. But even when I had Cammy and stuff like back medium punch were amazing anti-airs, I was so bad at using back medium punch as an anti-air. It was kind of sad, actually, considering how easy it was to be just one button press. It's really not about being scared of doing the DP motion. It's more that when they jump at me, my brain just freezes. I can do the DP really fast, and that's not a problem. It's mostly just that as soon as someone jumps at me, my brain immediately goes, oh God, they jumped, block, James, block. And I'm like, oh, block, block. And then I'm like, wait, no, I should have uppercutted, uppercut, uppercut. But my hand has already moved to block, and it's really irritating. I always tell people the story that, when I fought against Axel in Guilty Gear, he has the move which is charge back, forward, and heavy slash, and this blue ball appears next to him, and he throws it out, and it's an unblockable throw, essentially. So he's got a throw projectile. It just has a lot of startup. It's like, nee, and then it goes forward and hits you, and if you don't jump, you get caught by it. Well, whenever my friend would play Axel, I would literally be fighting against him, and he would do the move, and I'd see the move, and I'd go, fuck! Like, as soon as the move showed up, I would yell, I would get mad, and get hit by it. Like, I reacted to it instantaneously as soon as I saw it, but I reacted by getting mad that I knew I was gonna get hit by it, because I couldn't, even though I could react to it, I couldn't. My hand would freeze at block, and it would come out and hit me. So I would see it, and I'd know I'd get caught, and I couldn't, like, my brain would freeze, and I wouldn't move my joystick to up to jump away from it. It's really weird. I don't understand why I'm like that. There's just something about the jump and like Ken Run and things like that trigger this very defensive stance from me. Everyone's playing Final Fantasy VII Remake right now, and I wonder if I don't even own it. As big of a Final Fantasy fan as I am, Final Fantasy VII has always been one of my lesser favorite Final Fantasies. So, I mean, I've heard it's amazing, so maybe I will play it, but I don't know. I don't have the impetus for that. Oh, what's going on, Xiao? How's it going? Dude, I love FF8. I love Final Fantasy VIII, which is crazy. And Final Fantasy VIII could stand to do a really awesome remake, because if they remade the game Final Fantasy VIII and really tweaked the draw system a little bit, like if they just kind of reinvented the draw system. I loved junctioning. I thought junctioning was awesome, but they need to change the way the draw system worked. Like, if you junction stuff, it should take the spells away from you, and then you could still draw more, or just the draw system in general was just kind of a bad idea because it was slow, and, I don't think that they intended for people to sit there and draw all day infinitely to get everything from people, but to build it up slowly, but they just don't realize that, people are OCD. They want to draw everything as soon as they can. So that's exactly what's going to happen. Oh God, Olivo, get out of my chat. Get out of my chat, Olivo. Mami cuidado, man. You have to be careful when you say things like that in my chat here, okay? You have to be careful, otherwise I'm going to ban you. FF6 is one of my top 3 video games of all time, Mixer. So, for sure, That is the best one. That is the best one. Final Fantasy VI is one of the greatest games. But that's just the nice thing is if we actually get... Oh, yeah. No, none of the games in Final Fantasy have anything to do with each other. Yeah, I'm going to mess with it a little bit, anime lover, for sure. I'm going to mess with it a little bit just to kind of see how the game play. Oh, I mean, I already messed with it a little bit, but I just kind of want to mess with some of the other characters and stuff. So, but Final Fantasy VI is definitely one of my favorite video games of all time. Of all time. Oh, I see. I yell at Olivo and then he runs away. I don't see you anymore. Shout outs to Olivo, by the way. One of the coolest guys out there. Part of the Puerto Rican fighting game scene. Excellent Honda player as well as excellent Ibuki player. So, you're holding charge for EX Slam. God. Hey, shout outs to Nazda for the subscription. Yes, you can see down below. Subscriptions are now down to 211. And I swear this thing doesn't ever update whenever I do this. Did it go up to 212? No, it did not. Because I do have Streamlabs open. Weird. God, this widget here is just, it's not very good. Let's see. Let's do this manually here. I'm gonna have to do this manually here. Okay, there we go. But Sigma Nuts, Nazda, Sigma Nuts. And yes, my Moobot can actually print stuff out now. So now there's even this as well, I think. Oh no, it's emotes. That's what it is. There you go. There's all my emotes. And they overlap each other. Weird. Okay. That's very odd. What is going on over there? And a flying Sigma that's going to try to stab somebody with a spear. So that's Majin Obama's. What is Zulu? He has Zulu spears attacking people. That's the thing, Mr. Mixer, is that Lucia actually has an excellent anti-butt slam. If you block the EX butt slam on the way up, she can beat it every single time with the light DP, regardless of what side it goes on. And so she already has good ways to stop it. Butt slam isn't the problem in that fight. Not only that, but you also have to be very ready for it. A lot of the times I'm just not ready for it, and I block the EX butt slam on the way up, and I just don't have the reaction time to try to do the uppercut. That's natural, though, because that's such a small window, and yeah, reaction time, that's a hard reaction time to do. But she can already stop the Honda butt slam, so it's fine. It's really about the front distance. It's really about the neutral space right there that she just doesn't have a good way to stop Honda from just hitting buttons. Like, you could try throwing fireballs, but fireballs are such a risk for her. I mean, you have to be so on point to throw the fireballs with her, but if the opponent just decides to jump, then you're like dead. Especially because her fireball hitbox doesn't have the same kind of size as Dhalsim's. I really feel like they do need to make the hitbox bigger on the up fireball, because against Dhalsim, when you jump, like, you can't skirt that fireball. Like, you can, but it's very rare. But on Lucia's, it's very easy to jump through her up fireball. Like, I've just had people just like dodge it in every way possible. Lucia shouldn't give you a hard time against your Ed, Mr. Mixer. Use a lot more standing heavy kicks, because crouching medium kick is such an important button for her. Your standing heavy kick will crush counter her a lot and cause her a lot of problems. You generally have, weirdly enough, better pokes on the ground than she does because of that heavy kick. But having said that, do I think Ed has an advantage in that fight? I don't know. I haven't played it enough. Probably a 5-5 at the end. So, yeah, and V-Skill 2 destroys her fireball. So it's kind of a tricky thing. I right now I personally feel like Ed has a slight advantage. I dare I do the 5.5, 4.5 thing, but that's only because the fact that his heavy kick is such a problem in the neutral. But like I said, I haven't played the match enough to really have a proper assessment of that fight. Yeah, I hate the point 0.5 thing. I hate it. I hate it. Man, I'm already looking at this. Okay, you know what? Let's just go ahead and start the official part of the Chen reaction. I've been talking about stuff, lots of good topics here that, I'd rather just leave in the video anyway. So I'm just not even going to reset it and do a complete, hard start right here. Welcome, everybody, to the Chenzor Dynasty here on twitch.tv/jchenzor. My name is James Chen, your host here at the Chenzor Dynasty. Thanks, guys, for joining in. I am going to be doing the Chen reaction right now, in which I am, someone challenged me yesterday to pick it was 2 days ago, to pick the bottom 5 of Street Fighter V, and I completely skirted the answer because I basically said I didn't think there was a bottom 5. And I'm going to go and try to look through there and actually see if I can find out who I think is the bottom 5. Then after that, I am going to mess with Them's Fightin' Herds, going to go through all the characters, try to do some of their combo trials, give you guys an idea of what the game is about. The full official version comes out on April 30th. And it's available on Steam right now. April 30th is just the official 1.0 release. I've heard that it's been a lot of work and a lot of trials and tribulations to get this game to the 1.0 version. They're putting in a lot of work. I've seen a lot of really cool things, really cool one-player RPG-ish mode. I've seen some of the trials and tutorials that they've had that look super cool. So and it has great rollback GGPO netcode. So I kind of want to just promote the game a little bit by just trying it out and checking it out and see if I enjoyed the game a little bit. I messed with it earlier in the week with one of the characters, so I'm just going to mess with all the characters and to see what they all do. Yeah, see, here's the thing. Everyone, when they try to name a bottom 5 in Street Fighter V, you get people who are like, clearly Alex is bottom 5, clearly Fang is bottom 5, clearly Jury is bottom 5. The thing about it is, they're all so good. I don't see it. I don't see them as being bottom 5s. Sigma Nuts, Dr. Swagenheimer, Sigma Nuts. Oh, and that was actually a gift sub from Overhaul. So Sigma Nuts, Overhaul. Sigma Nuts. There you go. And if you guys want access to the beautiful Sigma and Nuts emotes that I have, there you go. King Vasuki has that on deck. Yeah, the comeback, exactly, Olivo. I feel the same way, as that a lot of characters can make the comeback that they need. The game has become so, it's so programmed, I guess. Like, when you get a certain knockdown, you have the ability for your mix-up. Everybody has that mix-up in those Oki situations, except for, obviously those very rare situations where you get no Oki off of off of things, like absolutely no Oki. Like Lucia gets nothing off of her back throw, she gets nothing off of her critical art, she gets nothing off of her V reversal, she gets nothing off of her uppercut. Not that I'm bitter or anything. Yeah, at this point in time, I might have to put Lucia bottom 5. Like, realistically, she might be. And the worst thing about it is I know she's not even a bad character. I know she's actually a pretty decent character that, a lot of the problems that I experience with are more me than Lucia. But still, at the same time, I might have to default just put her at bottom 5 because she is lacking in so many very key, specific areas. There's just a lot of things that she's missing. Plus, the other thing too is we really just don't have a large enough of a Lucia player base to really kind of accurately judge that character, right? Because We've got El Chicote, who's a warlord with Lucia. Got there mostly with Armika, but obviously he's very, very good even with Lucia and wins with her pretty decently. Shine does the same thing with Lucia. So there are definitely a lot of players out there who are better with Lucia, and that's why I don't want to put her at bottom 5. Because I really, yeah, that would actually be a really good idea, James. I should just go find a bunch of Lucia matches and just kind of sit down and watch them and examine what people are doing with with her. But hang on, let me go ahead and switch the camera view here for you guys, because what I want to do here, let's look at this real quick. And you know what? Do I have power in this thing? I do have power. Oh, but I'm running low on power. Let's plug this in so I can charge it up. There we go. And so I will log in with the control pad so I can control it from here. So, let's, right, Chun-Li is better than, yeah, Lucia just has a lot of characters who are better than her currently, so it's really hard to think why you would want to pick Lucia. Yeah, she's a very weird character. She's very unique, though. Her archetype is very unique. And that's what I like about the character so much, is that she plays unlike any of the other characters in the game. She's got all these really interesting mechanics. They just, like I said, every single one of these mechanics, they mesh with each other very interestingly. I'm not saying they don't complement each other. They complement each other well. They don't complement each other intuitively, is what I should say. And everything that she does comes with a big risk involved as well. She's very negative in a lot of very key tools. Like her V skill would be great if it was -5 or even -6 would make her V skill a lot better. It's -8 currently, so it's punishable by like everything. But if they had made it -6 or even -5 or even -6, it would automatically become just a better tool to have. So all these different things that she has like all these cool options, but all of them are deficient in one, like a key way, so that they all have to make up for each other, and it's very, very hard to figure that out. So yeah, and that's how I feel, Xiao. But then again, I don't know if they're actually bad matchups or if it's just one of those things that it's just my perception. I can't. I think that they're bad matchups, but I can't. I'm obviously not the definitive source on Lucia, so while I think they're bad matchups, I don't want to sit here and put that down in concrete as like, yeah, clearly this is a bad matchup. Like, there just might be a strategy that I am unaware of. By the way, Origami Kingdom, Sigma Nuts. Sigma Nuts to Origami Kingdom. I like that name. Yeah, like, it's weird. But, okay, so let's do this, right? So I've busted out a notepad over here. And what we're going to do here, let's go ahead and just capture the source over here. Because there are characters who are clearly not bottom 5. And there are characters who are potentially bottom 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to build this list over here. I'm just going to put this list up here. I'm going to cover the first player over here because that's the one that I'm going to be moving all day. So there are clearly some characters. So I'll write Lucia down here first and foremost here, just because, you know, she definitely has the potential. Let me go to 18 size font. There we go. So let's put Lucia here. A lot of people talk about Vega. A lot of people talk about Ed. Jury is another one people talk about. Alex is another one that everyone likes to talk about. Fong is another one that people talks about. By the way, it freaked me out when someone actually corrected me at one point that Fong does not have a period after the G. And that's officially how it's spelled. And I was like, what? Wait, what? And sure enough, there it is. Ryu Some people have talked about Sim, although Sim is definitely rising up out of that right now. Do people realistically, Falk is one, do some people realistically believe Blanca or Sagat are low tier? What do people think about Cody right now? Kage might be another one, although Kage has improved a lot. Sure, I'll write him as Doll Sim. See, Sim is not down there anymore. Even someone like even someone like NYC Furby, Sabin, Arturo doesn't even think he's that low anymore. So look, we can already clear out some people here, right? So what I'm gonna do here is clearly not Gil. Definitely not Gil. Definitely not Manat. Definitely not Akuma. Definitely not Rashid. Definitely not Mika. Definitely not Chun-Li. Definitely... let me move it to the other side, because now this is starting to make more sense the other way. Ken, maybe. Ken actually is a potential. Ken is a potential here. Definitely not Cammy. Vega is one that people talk about. Definitely not Nikali. Definitely not Guile. Definitely not Colleen. Definitely not Zeku. Do people... Dad, I don't think anybody thinks that Cody is low tier. Definitely not Poison. Definitely not Seth. Definitely not Honda. Definitely not G. Nauman killed any sort of thought that Sakura is bottom tier. Ed could be, Jury could be, definitely not Ibuki, definitely not Laura. Zangief. Zangief is like the most polarizing character and always been one of the most polarizing characters. Nauman got smoked all through Topanga League. That sucks. Definitely not Karen Nash. Okay, Nash is one people talk about a lot. M. Bison, definitely not Bison. Definitely not Birdie. Sim Fung, definitely not Boxer. Definitely not Urian. Definitely not Abigail. Definitely not Blanc. Well, I don't believe Blanca. I know some people might still think he's bad, but I don't think so. I think Blanca's amazing. Also, Sagat. I don't think Sagat is. And Lucia. Okay, so here we go. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. See, now here's the thing, right? I have seen a lot of amazing Vega players. Dalsum is getting up there right now. I've seen a lot of amazing Jury players. Like, Gunfight in Japan keeps getting, like, 9th place in tournaments with Alex. Fang, I think, is ridiculously good. Kage is actually much better now. Kage is probably from last season where a lot of people think that he's not very good, but clearly Kage is a lot better right now. Ed is another one of those people who's kind of leftover, last season leftover bias right here. Let's see here. Ken is not bad either. But see, that's the thing, is I don't think Fang is that bad. Ryu is not that bad. I thought Ryu was one of the worst also in this season, including last season. But Ryu is clearly a lot better now. But Daigo is dual maining Kage and Guile? Okay, well, there you go. Yeah, Ed is a lot more consistent now. But see, I feel like a lot of these characters, like, I think Falk is pretty good. I mean, Nash scares me. I have trouble fighting Nashes. And like I said, I don't think Lucia's that bad either. I think most of Lucia's my problems with Lucia come from me. Yeah, see, that's the thing, is like some people are like, Falk is clearly not bottom 5. Ken, I mean, look, Bolt Strike just had that awesome streak in the UK on Winner Stays On, using Claw. He's definitely really strong now. They did a good job. Make it a top 8. It was like 1 for Alex and 2 for Ryu and a few for Vega. You said that was last year, right? But that's last year. Vega probably wasn't as good last year, but I think he's really strong right now. God, this is what I mean. Like when someone challenged me to pick a bottom five, I don't know if I could really actually do it. I don't know. So right now, maybe something like these three. I mean, everyone says Alex, but I just don't believe Alex is low. Right, exactly. Bottom five just doesn't mean bad. But that's the thing is that Fang, I think, is scary, dude. I think he's super scary. Jury is definitely not bottom five anymore. So I'm just gonna. She's just. There's no way. No way. Dalsum. I mean, Dalsum players thought he was bottom five. But now, like, Arturo thinks he's good, including thinking that V-Skill 2 is good, even though all they did was sorry, I'm not going to be bitter about Dalsum people again. I'm not going to be bitter about Dalsum fans. Yeah, I mean, Olivo, you play against Mono all the time. Does Mono think that Fang is bottom five? I know Mono has always been kind of high on Fang. So what do you think? What does Mono think about him right now? Yeah. So this is what I mean by saying like being bottom five in this game is like doesn't even mean anything. See, that's the thing is I can't be that confident, Joe Lewis, that Fang is bottom five. Like in my heart, I can't just sit here and go, yeah, Fang is bottom five. Ken is probably not bottom five. Jury is not. God, I see. This is the weird part. Is like, do people really think Jury is bad? Right? I mean, you think about it, and Just a Kid got to like warlord status using Jury. You know, if anyone argues to me that Lucia is not bottom five because El Chicote can do well at Warlord with this character, doesn't that mean that Jury is also super good as well? And see that, Joe Lewis? That's a great question. Jeez. A lot of people are still arguing Jury. So, look, Jury and Alex, I don't even think Nash is that bad. I'm just putting Nash down here because he's just kind of like defaulted down here and nobody uses him anymore. Dude, if I could become a warlord in this game, dude, I would be so happy. I think I would have no more questions about anything anymore if I could manage to pull that off, Xiao. If I could become a warlord with Lucia, God, what a day that would be. If I could ever get up there, I swear to God, it would probably be one of the happiest days of my life. Hi, Rosie the Cat, new to Twitch. Let's see. Is Rosie the Cat a bot or not? You know, it could be one of those little weird bots that I don't know what they have for. Sorry if you're not a bot, Rosie the Cat. Okay, not a bot. Just making sure. But welcome to Twitch, Rosie the Cat. So let's see here. Maybe we should pit the bottom five against each other. Maybe get a potential 10 worst characters and try to play them for a while to see for yourself. God, I don't want to suffer like that, El Señor Presidente. I don't want to do that. Yeah, some characters don't seem that bad until you play them. So a lot of people like to... Okay, so here's the list of characters that people like to argue are bottom tier. And maybe even Ryu's not down here anymore because Ryu is a lot better now. But a lot of people like to argue Fang, Jury, and Alex as being bottom 5. Okay, so that's a good call right there from Olivo. Fang has to touch you 5 to 6 times to kill you, while Ji or Akuma needs 2 touches. However, when Fang hits you, his mix-ups are much more strong since they are legit left-right mix-ups. While against some top tier, you can just take the throw 10 times. Yeah, okay. And the other thing, too, about Fang that's really scary is that he's plus on a lot of stuff. He's got a lot more good plus advancing kind of things, like heavy kick and the coward crouch kicks. Being plus on block are really powerful. Not a lot of characters have forward advancing plus on block moves like that. You know, that's what makes Bison scary. It's what makes Honda scary. And it's, in my opinion, what makes Fang really scary. A lot of characters do have plus moves, but it's not ones that continue to move forward and push themselves in your face. Like, if you could imagine that Cammy's knee bullet was plus 2, if that thing was plus 2, Cammy would be terrifying. She would be like the craziest character. And honestly, between Fang, Honda, and Bison, I don't know if I could name you 3 other characters that have that many plus on block moves that are moving forward constantly. Dude, Fang is that's the thing, is Fang is really kind of scary. See, Vega, like, do people really still believe Vega is bad? Like, do people really still think Vega is bad? Is that a character bad because they are bad, or bad because of lack of representation? Yes. Yes, Hakan was bottom only due to representation. And that's the thing, is I don't even think Vega's bad at all anymore, you know? Yeah, Falk having good matchups against meta keeps her out of bottom 5. G's and Abigail's. But that's crazy that you say that, Mr. Mixer, because Fang is one of Abigail's worst matches. In fact, when Abigail was at his best, Fang players never were really affected. Knee? Knee? What's knee? You're talking about the uppercut knee? I don't see. Yeah, but I mean, what about that knee? Is that knee good? Does that qualify Alex as being strong? Yeah, so Fang, because he trades. So, but Olivo, I don't know if you answered it earlier and I just missed it. Does Mono think that Fang is bottom right now? Is that kind of one of the situations here? And then I don't know if people agree that Lucia is even bottom 5. I mean, I have her down there sitting there because I just feel I play her, so I feel like she's missing a lot of stuff. But honestly, I can't. That's just bias. Like, that's 100% bias. I don't even think she really is bottom 5, to be honest with you. But the thing is, she's another one of those characters that just has low representation. And low representation doesn't necessarily mean they're bad. It just means they're difficult to use correctly. Like I said, Lucia's biggest problem is she has, like, a really interesting tool set that none of them mesh together intuitively. That you really just have to be good at switching between them. She has enough tools to be really, really strong. You just have to be good at pulling which tools out at the right time that you want. So I think that's weird. Like, it's weird to me that people aren't scared of Alex. Like, that character terrifies me. I can't beat that character at all. And so again, there's that bias for me that I just can't see Alex being bad at all, because he's one of those characters that once he gets going, he just murders you, right? It's the thing that Olivo was talking about. He's got that 2-touch kill thing, especially with the V-Trigger 1, where he suddenly gains a parry and it becomes scary to even hit a button against him. And that's the thing. Does he really lose everything after a command grab? Right? He can stand heavy kick you and crush counter you. Dashing up isn't real, but if you think you can dash up and react to that versus meaty elbow slash every single time, that's a scary proposition. You know, like, you have to know which one, and then once you're in the corner, it's that much more terrifying because you can't even walk back or backdash on wake up. So when he command throws you in the middle of the screen, you can walk backwards and get away from pretty much everything. But then if you don't pay attention and let him elbow slash in there, you know, then he's at least kind of close up again. Right, you just block, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's weak, you know? I did it in training mode. I mixed between standing heavy kick and dash, and I have trouble reacting to either one, especially, like I said, if I throw in the elbow chop in the way. If I throw in the elbow chop, I have to block. In order to beat the dash up, I have to jab. And they look the same to me because he moves forward, so I can't tell which one he's doing. Delay button. Does it? Does it really beat that? Because of delay button, I feel like we'll lose to dash up low jab sometimes from Alex too. Because he's -3 in that situation. When he dashes up against you after a command grab, he's -3. So if you can perfectly hit light punch 2 frames after you get up 100% of the time, 2 to 3 frames 100% of the time, sure, maybe -4, okay. Still, okay, then you have a 4-frame perfect window to hit that. What's going on, Fran Geek? How's it going? Plus, another thing is, even if you do the delayed wake up button, that's not even a reaction. That's just an option select. You're just going to get up and hit the button. You're not reacting to either the dash or the elbow dash or the elbow slash. You're just hitting the button. And if that's the case, then Alex can also delay the dash by like 4 frames, which makes it really hard to tell. And then if he does that and you jab, your jab will whiff, and then he can command throw you afterwards. I don't know. Everyone says that Alex gets nothing after his command grab, but I don't believe it. But has he not had competitive success? Everyone says he has trash anti-airs. Yeah, I can never jump at an Alex when I play him online. I never jump. Every time I jump at an Alex, they crouch heavy punch me every single time, or they jab me out of the air every single time. Even when I was Cammy and I had dive kicks, I would just lose the crouching heavy punch. Everyone always says Alex has terrible anti-airs, and so I jump at an Alex and they hit me out of the air every single time. Even when I throw it out in really weird situations when I jump at them, they anti-air me all the time. Right, but that's the thing, right? So, Alex Natron, you say that. You have to play the player, not the character. That applies to the Alex player as well. He clearly has anti-airs that work. And if you play the player, the anti-airs are going to be fine. So, are his anti-airs actually trash? Or are you just not good at reacting to jumps? Like I could say Lucia's anti-airs are trash because I'm terrible at reacting to jumps, but clearly her anti-airs are fine. So clearly you cannot choose the one in front of me. So, but see, that's the thing, right? Like, everyone says, oh, they don't work. Dude, how, like, then, like I said, I get hit by the anti-airs every single time. It's weird. Like, I mean, I guess I can put Alex in bottom 5 because it seems like he's the one that everyone's arguing the most for Alex for being bottom 5. It seems like a lot of people are arguing for him to be bottom 5. And yeah, I know I'm biased because I have so much trouble against that character. Yeah, exactly. Like, Lucia actually has a physical problem with her anti-air. There was literally one sequence where I think it was a Colleen player jumped at me, and I did uppercut, and she was basically on top of me, and my kick literally went kick, 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 and my uppercut missed. She fell through my uppercut. And even though she was right next to me, like, that is a bad anti-air, right? That is a bad anti-air. And right, see, so now Mr. Behavior is like, there's no way Alex is bottom 5. That's how I feel that as well. So, that's the thing, though, is that Alex, like, he has so many ways in. I don't know how you're supposed to keep them all out. And then he has some of the best neutral buttons in the game. Stand heavy kick, stand medium kick, and crouching medium punch are terrifying neutral buttons to fight against. And while you're trying to fight them, then that opens up for dash, and that opens up for elbow slash, and then EX Stomp comes out of nowhere all of a sudden. I'm sorry, EX Stun Gun comes out of nowhere. Like, it's weird. Like, I don't... It's so confusing to me. Dude, heavy kick is hard to whiff punish for me because I suck at whiff punishing. And two, the range on it is very odd. You have to stand so far out of the range of heavy kick in order to whiff punish it. And if you're standing at that range constantly to whiff punish it, you're not a threat to Alex. So if you're trying to whiff punish heavy kick all day, he's just going to walk you to the corner. Because he doesn't have anything to be worried about. If you're sitting there trying to whiff punish heavy kick all day, you just keep walking forward as Alex. Because you can't threaten Alex from that range a lot of the time, right? That's the thing. And that's what I don't understand. I should just play Honda. And that's the other thing too, is that, oh, Honda's a better version of everything. He's not a better version of Alex. He's just a better character overall in every single way humanly possible. I really unironically think Honda's top 10 in the game. Honda's just ridiculous. Yeah, Honda, I think, is super good in this game. He's weird. He's weird, but I think he's super good. Maybe I should just sit there and try to learn Alex. My problem is that I'm not going to be good at being random enough with that character. Which is where I feel like he excels at. If you're good at just mixing up all the different options with that character. Oh God, if anybody thinks Honda is bad, I mean, if Mike Ross thinks he's bad, then I don't know. I don't know where Mike is coming from. Yeah, Mr. Behavior, V-Skill 2, V-Trigger, depending on who you are. I think V-Trigger 1 is better. But, you know, medium hands is +1 on block. Light hands is +2 on block. Heavy hands is -2 on block. Headbutt is medium headbutt. It's like -7, but at a range that's really hard for people to punish. And so Honda ends up at this range right outside, like, most people's, you know, medium pokes. And he just dominates this range because hands are very scary, and the occasional EX butt slam out of nowhere is frightening. If EX butt slam gets blocked from the front, he's +5. If you block it as a cross up, he's -2. Still safe. If you charge up V skill 2, you know, where now he can cancel any normal into hands towards heavy kick into medium hands, is a half screen way to be +1 next to the enemy. Dude, that character is scary. Yeah, actually, Puma the Monster that's actually really similar to how I play as well. I play very methodically, and that's why it's hard for me to fight certain characters and also to use Lucia, because Lucia actually requires to be a lot less methodical. She has to be kind of crazy because she has all these different options. She needs to be more unpredictable, and I am way too predictable with that character. God. I think he hasn't been. I think he's gotten buffed so little because I actually think he's better than everyone gives him credit for. Dude, the game is one of the most balanced games that there are. Yeah, Olivo, that's what David says too. You can't be scared of the plus frames. You just have to. But my problem is I'm using Lucia and she just has no range. So after I block hands and block all these things, I just can't hit anything unless I just do a miraculous call-out standing heavy kick to beat hands twice in a row. Yeah, exactly. Gunfight does great with Alex, and I don't understand that. And you know, NuckleDu lost to an Alex at a tournament. Punk wasn't it Punk that lost to an Alex at an event? Yeah, that's right. NuckleDu lost to an Alex at Evo. You know, Alex comes out of everywhere and like keeps beating people at events, and people underrate that character so much. But I'm gonna have him in bottom 5 because people who use Alex are super adamant about that. So I'll leave him at bottom 5. Based off of what Olivo said about Fang needing multiple touches, I'll put Fang in bottom 5. As well. Punk was able to jump at Proto all day, and he lost! And he lost! Who are you referring to, say no to weebs? Alex or Fang? Dude, this game is so balanced. I just tweeted this out that I'm really mad that this season is the one that we got all of our tours canceled, because this season I was so excited to see how it was going to pan out because it's so balanced right now. It's so balanced right now. And it's funny because like there's obviously people in the chat who think the way that I think, that there's no way Alex is bottom 5, but the people who play Alex are so adamant that he's so terrible, that he has no neutral, that he has no mix-ups off of command grabs, and he has absolutely no effective anti-airs because none of them work at all in any way, shape, or form. I mean, he has to be bottom 5 at this point. He has to be bottom 5. Man. Well, yeah, I know, but Gunfight is an Alex player. Like I said, a lot of people are saying like there's no way he's bottom 5, but a lot of people are saying that there's no way he's not bottom 5. So I'll put him at bottom 5. Is there any Nash defenders here in the chat? Are there any Nash defenders? Oh, Gunfight stopped playing Alex, huh? Right, Ryu. I would personally put Ryu down here because I didn't think Ryu got the buffs that he needed to get to be significantly better. And last season, I thought Ryu was like bottom 2. So I would personally put Ryu down here. But I don't know if anybody else thinks that way. And yeah, see, that's the thing, is Nash is one of those characters that is just super underrepresented. Hey, shout outs to T-Mac for the donations. Thank you, T-Mac. Much appreciated. Donations also require a Sigma Nuts. Oh, wow. Thank you, T-Mac. Appreciate that. Appreciate that so much. Thank you. Thank you. Sigma Nuts. T-Mac. Nuts. Oops! News! There you go. Jury is a better Ryu. See, Ryu is mid tier. I think Nash is bottom 5, but bottom 5 in SF5 is bad. I need to go die to Raging Brachdios with some friends. Yeah, no problem. Overhaul. Oh yeah. Headbutt. HP headbutt is -12. Don't use it. Don't ever use it. You don't ever need to use the heavy headbutt. You don't ever need to use heavy headbutt. Not only that, but you can even get away with using it a lot because it's hard to tell the difference between the 3 headbutts. And so a lot of times people aren't aware that you use the... Dude, EX headbutt is like -29 or some stupid thing like that. Yeah, HP headbutt is only for anti-air. That's right. Yeah, it's the anti-air. And EX headbutt is also super negative. But God, you will get away with EX headbutt so much. It's crazy. But is she better than Juri and Ken? Like, she doesn't have any good matchups, right? Who does she win against? That's the question. Does she beat anybody? I don't think she beats anybody in the game. I think she has even matchups or worse. And that's it. I think that's the best that she has. Lucia. Falk. Do you just mean character design wise? Right, that's the thing about Ryu, but even still, I think Ryu is not even that terrible anymore. Falk is good. I think Ryu is good. Lucia is definitely arguably good. A lot of people are saying that Nash isn't bottom 5 anymore. Why play Falk when you can play Menat or Poison? Yeah, I mean that's another way to look at this. Is that Ryu could be considered bad because why wouldn't you pick Kage or Akuma, right? Lucia could be considered bad because why wouldn't you just pick Cammy or Karen or any of the other fast pokey characters that can do way better at that mid-range, which is supposed to be Lucia's wheelhouse. Even Sakura, who has a real fireball, and her up fireball actually hits people out of the air like a real up fireball is supposed to. I mean, I really think that Lucia is just kind of overwritten by a bunch of other characters. Alex could be the same thing. Why use Alex? Because, you know, Abigail exists, Zangief exists, and they can do better things than what Alex can do. So if you look at it that way, if you look at it as why use this character when blah exists, I mean, I'm going to delete Kage here because Kage is not even in the conversation at all, to be honest with you. Let's see. Why use Juri when Chun does the same thing with less scaling and better buttons? The thing about it is, I don't think Juri and Chun-Li occupy the same archetype. You know, I don't know if they necessarily occupy the same archetype, maybe. But the other problem is that Chun is so good that she literally erases everybody from the game. Right, exactly. Besides G and Rashid or Chun-Li, to be honest with you. Right, and there you go. Falk has a real reversal while Menat and Poison don't. Yeah, exactly. See, Guhak, I agree with that. I don't think Juri and Chun-Li occupy the same space. I think they occupy different spaces. Yeah, that's the worst part about Juri, is that she has to do the charge up, and the charge up really just doesn't, like, it's just a hamper. That's all it is. It's just a way to make it so that she's harder to play. That's it. um, I really think that they needed to give her more creative ways to charge up. Like she should be able to cancel things into the charge or something. Yeah, or start charged, for example. I think I agree with that. I've always said that EX Fuhajin. I know that she has the 3 versions of the EX Fuhajin. No, actually, she only has the 1 version of the EX Fuhajin, right? She only has 1 EX Fuhajin. No, she has multiple versions because she can throw the fireball. She can do the one where she lunges forward. God, this is a character that obviously I'm super not. Yeah, she only has 1 EX. Okay. What am I thinking of then? Because I really think that there should have been multiple abilities to do it, and so that way she could just use the EX. Like, she should be able to use different buttons, and one of the EXs just makes her charge all 3 of them instantly. Because if she did that, if you think about it, then the V-trigger that steals meter would be super useful, because then you could just sit there and combo into, you know, pressure strings while you activate it into EX charge everything, do sequence, EX charge everything, do some sequence and stuff like that. I really, really think that that would be super cool. Oh, yeah, I think you're right. I think I am thinking about V-trigger 1 fireball. Yes, you're right. Dude, that standing medium kick and also the standing heavy punch, or standing. God, see, this is the worst thing about Jury is I can never remember which button is which. I can never remember which button is which. The lunge one is heavy kick, and standing heavy punch is the 45-degree angle, right? So this is me. So this button is great. This button is fantastic, by the way. What a great poke. Wow, what I wouldn't give to have this poke for Lucia. Jesus Christ, this is so good. I mean, Lucia's standing medium kick might have similar ranges to this. Probably not, but it's just the speed of this, and it's got also the early hit too. So hitting this I've lost to that early hit a bunch of times. This button is hella good too. I get crush countered by this thing all day. I get crush countered by this like constantly. I think this button is amazing. But yeah, if she just had the ability to use different buttons on this and just give yourself like a instant charge on all 3. Could you imagine if they gave her an EX charge that was like +1 on block right next to somebody? Like, yeah, it would be expensive because you've got to spend the meter, but holy shit, like, that feels like that would make her V-Trigger 2 really good. That's what I would give her. I would give her a charge up thing plus on block on EX that just charges all 3 automatically. And then when she's stealing your meter, then she could just be like the pressure queen. I think it'd be super, super good. Man, that would be so good. Yeah, the charge is her weakness. That's absolutely her weakness. That she has to do this stupid shit when half the characters don't have to do that to get like things that are just as good. I mean, that might be enough just to put her in the bottom 5 because she has to do this charge up crap, you know, when nobody else needs to do this. So honestly, that might be enough just to put her at bottom 5 because she's got this useless mechanic that nobody else has to deal with, you know. Even if, I forget, does that, that doesn't combo, right? Damn it. Yeah, that's right there. Dude, Honda's so good. Honda's so good, right, Mr. Behavior? Dude, that character's so good. Yeah, and you gotta run away to charge. Oh, let me charge back over here. And then, hey, let me charge up my V skill. You know, this kind of stuff. Like, why does she have to charge up everything? So, All right. God, but see, like, I still think Jury isn't bottom 5. But, you know, for the sake of making a list, for the sake of somebody, I'm going to end the stream with my definitive bottom 5. And so I'm going to put her down there because she has a useless charge mechanic that doesn't reward her for what she actually gets. Yeah, I know, V-Skill 2 is another thing that requires charge. I had Nash there originally. But, oops. Kotaku cat ruins stream. Oh, God, that's so hilarious, dude. I hope you guys have seen that clip from David, dude. It's so good. I've had Nash down here forever. But is Nash really that bad? Is Nash really that bad? I don't know if Nash is actually that bad. Yeah, exactly right. Bottom 5, but still good. Bottom 5, but still good. There you go. So, I think at this point in time, I can rule out Dhalsim. I think I can rule out Vega and Ed. I don't think that they're bottom 5. I don't think Ken is bottom 5. Don't. Oh, I think Street Fighter 5. Yeah, Ken is perfectly mid-tier. Falk, I don't think is bottom 5, especially because she's gotten some good buffs. So now it's okay. I'm gonna put it down to this 6 right here. So the question is, so because Jury's down here, because she has to continually charge up her moves. Actually, who was, I had Vega, I had Ed, I had Falk down here as well. God, I just don't think that there's logically down here at all. But what's the argument, Fly Low Am? That, yeah, I don't think Ryu is bottom 5 either. But I don't think Fong is bottom 5. I don't think Jury is bottom 5. I sure as hell don't think Alex is bottom 5. And I don't think Lucia is bottom 5 either. I don't think Nash is bottom 5. Oh, God. There's like... has the best theme. That's fair. I really... Oh, God. Dude, it's what it is. And, like, people have tried to argue to me that the worst thing about Street Fighter V is that it's not balanced. Oh, man. All right. My candidates for removing out of this list are... This is the argument right here. For me, it's Fong or Ryu to get out of the bottom 5. I'm going to leave the other 4 characters in there for now. Right. It's not even bottom 5. It's like lowest 5 mid-tiers. Lowest 5 mid-tiers, but still good. There you go. Which is funny, James, because to be honest with you, Street Fighter V actually has actually kind of less options than a lot of other fighting games as well. So, you know, with the less options here, it's still super balanced, which is, I really feel like the Season 4 and the Season 5 patches were really well done. The Season 5 patch in particular, I thought was just magnificent. I really felt like they addressed a lot of very crucial things. So, lowest 5 mid-tiers, but still good. Not bad really in any way, but maybe just the others are kinda better, but these guys can still win for sure. This is no, Mr. Behavior. No, that is a mistake. That is a mistake. V-Skill 2 is clearly the better V-Skill for Honda. I don't even think it's a question. I don't even think it's a choice. I love it. L5MD BSGN BRIAW BMJ TOAK BBT GCSWFS. I love it. But now, bad in any noticeable way. I'm going to add noticeable way in there just so I can get Brian in there. You know what I should do? I should, in noticeable, fundamental way, but maybe the others are kind of better, but these guys can still win for sure. There you go. So now I've got L5M BSTGAN Brian F WBMJTOAK. Yeah, so there you go. I got the Brian F in there. This is my list right now. AKA L5MTBSGAN Brian F WBMJ TOAK BBTGCSWFS. There you go. And I know there's such... Dude, Brian F is the best, okay? Brian F is actually the best. You only have to do one buff for V-Skill 2. You just buff it, and that's it. It's buffed. And you never lose it, not until you get hit. Not even if you get hit, nothing. You just have it, and now towards heavy kick is cancelable. Everything becomes cancelable. So towards heavy kick in the hands is cancelable. Yeah, you get a lot of stuff. So a lot of times if you hit people with headbutts, you try to charge up right away. If the opponent's aware, they can quick rise and punish you. Except Lucia, unless she has an EX meter, because Lucia is... Anyways, because they hate her. But you have to be careful of that. But a lot of people back rise away from Honda's headbutt. So you can do Honda headbutt into V-Skill, and a lot of people don't punish it. V-Trigger can go either way. Fang versus Ryu. Fang versus Ryu. Who am I removing from this list? I would leave Ryu on the list only because Kage and Akuma exist. My vote is to remove Fang because Fang can be super scary on pressure. Yes, he requires multiple hits, but his mix-ups are legit. He is one of the only characters that has these kind of super legitimate left-right mix-ups. I just don't think Fang is bad. I just don't think Fang is bad. Fang does not have a 3-frame. Oh, that's a good question. So 3-frame, but see, all three of these characters have 3 frames, so that's not necessarily a qualification. Maybe I should just remove Lucia off the list so that it's not biased. But if I'm going to put Alex on this list, I get to put a little bit of bias on here. Okay, because if I have to go against my bias by having, yeah, you're right. This is not the bottom five. This is not the B5 list. This is the L5 MTBS GAN Brian FWB MJTOAK BBT GCSWFS list. That is what this is. I mean, Fang can also get away with the EX command dash. Obviously, you can throw it, unfortunately, which is really annoying. See, as a programmer, I appreciate that humor, Bristark. I appreciate that humor a lot. I am going to remove... Someone asked me what my bottom five is, and so I will have the final say here. I'm going to remove Fang off this list. And I'm going to leave it at Ryu, Juri, Lucia, Alex, and Nash. Only... that's not how it's spelled. It's there you go. You forgot. It's an O. It's an O. It was an O in there. There you go. Because there was no repeat letters in it. There were no repeat letters in there. So that's my list. This is my personal list of the lowest 5 mid-tiers, but still good and not bad really in any noticeable fundamental way. But maybe just the others are kind of better, but these guys can still win for sure list. That is what, that is my list right here. And I will go ahead and get rid of the question mark because I think the sentence itself already indicates the question mark. This is my list here. The lowest 5 mid-tiers, but still good and not bad really in any noticeable fundamental way. But maybe just the others are kind of better, but these guys can still win for sure. Lowest 5 mid-tiers question mark. This is there you go. I just think in general that Lucia is still good and not really bad in any noticeable fundamental way, but maybe just that the others are kind of better. But Lucia can still win for sure. I just think that I will put her down here only through 1, pure bias, and 2, because her tool set is not fundamentally intuitive in any way, and that it makes her very, very difficult to use. Obviously, every single one of these characters has representatives that have put them into master and warlord status, have done well at tournaments with all of these characters except Lucia and probably Ryu, actually. Have we seen a Ryu do well in a tournament recently? Nash, we haven't even seen a Nash do well in a tournament recently. But that's all Season 4 data. That's all Season 4 data. The reason why I might also actually put Lucia down here is because she's, like, in this state and, like, they won't buff her. Like, literally, she got nothing in between Season 4 and 5. She got literally nothing except this V skill that's dodgy at best. And then the most recent patch, all they did was buff the dodgy at best V skill. That was all they did. That was all they did. The only thing about Lucia is when she gets you in the corner, it's terrifying. She can murder people in the corner pretty well. But if you go into the Lucia Discord, which I'm a part of, a lot of the Lucia players there insist that she is bottom 5. So I think a lot of Lucia players are kind of down on the character as well. But again, that's just character usage bias, right? That's where I think Alex falls under. But Alex, the people who play Alex are so adamant about the character being garbage in every single humanly way possible. Worst footsies in the game, worst anti-air in the game, worst Oki after command throw in the game, that I'm just going to put him down here. I just really gonna have to put him down here because, like I said, this is all the information that Alex players ever tell me. And yeah, trust me, Flylo Am, I am super mad about that. Oh, yeah. GLB got to 5th with Ryu. I was commentating that match, yes. Everyone down plays their own character. So, yeah, it's true. It's true. I think Gil is amazing, actually. I think Gil is really good. Do I think he's top tier? The jury is still out on it, right? And no pun intended with the word jury. It's just that's just how it worked out. I think the jury is still out on Gil and Seth, but I think those two both have potential to be one of the 25 characters that are in top 10. Because, like, right, at EVO Japan, right? Gunfight Alex almost went in top 8 at EVO Japan, right? That's what I kept arguing, but everyone's like, no, Alex is clearly terrible. Awful, worst character, can't do anything. So I'm just going to put him in the list. So Gil, okay, potentially top 10. Akuma potentially top 10. Rashid potentially top 10. Mika maybe. Chun-Li definitely potentially top 10. Honda potentially top 10. G potentially top 10. Ibuki potentially top 10. Do people really believe Laura sucks right now, or do people still? I think Laura's potentially top 10. Karen's potentially top 10. Cammy to potentially top 10. Nikali potentially top 10. Guile potentially top. Colleen definitely potentially top 10. Zeku potentially top 10. Poison potentially top 10. Bison potentially top 10. Birdie maybe not, but still pretty dang good. Urian potentially top 10. Yeah, so I'm about right. So there's about 15 characters who are potentially top. Actually, I should say just top 5. I'll just say there are 15 characters who are potentially top 5, in my opinion. There you go. 15 characters in top 5. I'm going to make sure my joke is consistent, and I will say 15. There's 15 characters potentially in top 5 in this game. So there you go. That's my list. All right. Okay. So I have a cool list here. Lowest of the lowest 5 mid-tiers, but still good and not bad really in any noticeable fundamental way, but maybe just the others are kind of better, but these guys can still win for sure list. With Ryu, Juri, Lucia, no order. Ryu, Juri, Lucia, Alex, and Nash is what I'm going to have as the bottom 5 list. I'm sorry, not the bottom 5 list, the lowest 5 mid-tiers, but still good and not bad really in any noticeable fundamental way, but maybe just the others are kind of better, but these guys can still win for sure list. So this is my list right here. Okay. I think this was very productive. I think we have established a quality lowest 5 mid-tiers, but still good and not bad really in any noticeable fundamental way, but maybe these others are kind of better. These guys can still win for sure list. I think we've established a pretty decent list here. I don't know why I keep saying the whole thing, because I clearly have the acronym here. So it's actually the L5MT, BS, GAN, Brian F, WBM, JTOAK, BB, TGC, SWFS list. There you go. The Brian F list. That's so great. Okay. There we go. Thank you guys for helping me put together this list. What I am going to do now is I am going to jump to the title screen, throw out an ad onto the stream, and then come back, play some Them's Fighting Herds, just kind of give that game a little bit of exposure. You guys should really check out the game. The game is actually very remarkable. It's such a beautiful looking game and so fluidly animated. The music is really good, all these things like that. So I'm going to try to give it a little bit of exposure on the stream. The full 1.0 version will be out on Steam on April 30th, but it's available on Steam right now. I actually don't have a lot of experience with the game from an aesthetic standpoint, and from the feature standpoint, it looks really awesome. So I'm going to spend some time right now to check it out, and you guys can come and check it out with me here on the stream. So thanks guys for tuning in. Again, guys, if you appreciate the content that I'm working on, if you appreciate all the stuff that I've been doing, obviously hard times for everybody right now, but if you have any spares, or if you have an Amazon Prime that you haven't used the Twitch Prime for, feel free to drop that here. I was on track potentially to get to 500 subs by July, but I think that that is not going to happen anymore. But if I can get back up to even 300 subs by July, I think that would be super awesome. Would help a little bit, help a lot more than nothing, obviously. So thanks, guys. And donations are welcome as well, as we had T-Mac earlier do that. Thank you again for that donation. Very much appreciate it. Very much. And you also get access to the amazing Sigma Nuts emotes here. So you can tell everybody, you know, hey, you know, you could do what is, do you want to Chen Sigma like this? And then people would be like, hey, what the heck? Do you want to Chen Sigma like this? And then people would be like, what's that mean? And then you could be like, Sigma Nuts. And then I'm actually going to try to add a couple of things pretty soon. And then you could spam these in the chat. But I am definitely going to work on something to complete the Sigma Nuts emotes. Yes, Marlise, there you go. Sigma Nuts, you know, that thing. Yes, exactly. All right. I will be right back, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out. And I'll be right back with some Them's Fighting Herds. If you guys are on YouTube, I'll put that video up as well of me messing around with the game, so you guys can check that game out as well. See if it's something that you want to check out. Again, also a game with amazing netcode based off of the Skullgirls engine. Mike Z, when he got his campaign, he had a Kickstarter campaign, and one of the goals was to let Them's Fighting Herds just use their fighting game engine, and that is what he's done. And I have Street Fighter Vception there, so there you go. Thanks, guys, for tuning in, and I will be right back for those of you here on Twitch.